PuelaLunaris.com presents fascinating interviews.
Hello there. I am Puela Lunaris, founder of Dances of the World Society. We rescue dances in danger of extinction, and you can find us at dancesoftheworld.org. Today, I have the immense honor and pleasure to interview Dawn Divine Davina. She is a scholar of dance and a dance historian, belly dance historian, using the art historical method. I invited Dawn to our segment of fascinating interviews because she is teaching a workshop about dancers in Orientalist art, and that workshop is coming up. So, what a great pleasure to be able to speak with the one and only Davina today. Without any further ado, let's welcome Davina.
Well, thank you so much for that lovely introduction.
It's really a pleasure and an honor. And I just wanted to get started right away because you have so much wisdom to share with us. Why discuss Orientalist art today?
Well, Orientalist art is something that is part of the Belly Dancer family album. We see these artworks on the cover of books, in publications, magazines, although, the world has gone digital magazines, but we see them on websites and in blogs and all over our larger, greater dance community. We see these Orientalist images representing us even today.
Yes, but for those who might not know, what is Orientalist art?
So Orientalist art falls into a time frame that started in the late 16th century and goes up until today, actually. But I will be looking, in my upcoming talk, at dancers, specifically images from the 19th century, at the height and the most power in the world of Orientalist art. Now, Orientalist art is art made by people in Europe, touring, traveling Europeans and other, English and European language speaking cultures who traveled to the Middle East and created works of art inspired by their travels, their intersections with different cultures. And, they went back to Europe, which was grimy and dirty and industrial, and they presented these beautiful, almost jewel-like images. They captured the minds of the viewing public and became one of the dominant themes in Western art during the 19th century.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about because I'm from Spain. Those same Orientalist painters came to Spain, which was also considered part of the Oriental exotic
Yes.
world, came especially to Granada and to many areas where the Moorish and Arabic heritage is still strong, like the ancient village where I was born with a huge Morisco castle on top of the hill. When we look back to those paintings, for me, it's a tremendous amount of gratitude that I feel. I don't feel like we were misjudged or misrepresented at all the opposite. Those foreigners that came and valued the culture gave a tremendous recognition to that heritage, the Mediterranean heritage.
I agree 100%.
Davina, please tell us, what is the art historical method?
That's a great question. So art history came into being in the 19th century. So in the late 19th century, at the same time Orientalism was at its height, the world of art history was started as an interdisciplinary historical subject, separate from political history and separated from cultural history. This is a history of visual arts, and by its nature, it's interdisciplinary, which means I'm looking at artworks as a cultural product and then situating it both within the cultural context where it was created, but also in today's context of how we can look, learn, and use these artworks as historical documents. And so the art historical methodology is about comparison and contrast. It's about aesthetics, and it's about the implicit understanding that the viewer would make when they were seeing or viewing an artwork. I know that's very arcane and technical, but
Oh, it's great, it's great. You explained it very clearly. It's great to understand what the art historical method is. Now we know. Thank you so much.
oh, thank you. Yeah.
Now, why don't you tell us about your workshop?
So my workshop is on, well, so it's going to be taking place on June 20th. It is hosted by Sarah Shrapnel of the Beyond Dance Business Academy, and it's a 90-minute talk about dancers in Orientalist art. And I'll be starting with a big introduction about Orientalist art, discussing Edward Said and talking about the collectors of today and how it shapes the way Orientalist art is presented. Then we'll be drilling down and discussing these painter travelers, where they came from, what they presented, Orientalist art as a genre, not an art movement. I think a lot of people think Orientalist art is a movement, but it's not. It's actually a genre or a subject matter. And then we'll be drilling down even further to discuss the key artworks that we as belly dancers are most familiar with. We'll be talking about dancers in Orientalist art and the value of looking at these both as inspiration, but also as historical documents. So in roughly 3 30-minute sections with time for Q&A afterwards.
That's fantastic. Yes, this is such a great contribution you're making to the dance community, Davina. And
Thank
so
you.
where can people register for this workshop?
So you can go to the Beyond Dance Business Academy directly, and you can register there. If you would like to visit my website, I'm davina.us, and there are links right on the front page of my website if you want an easy jump. Just remember Davina with an A, DAVINA.us, because I'm a US dancer.
Yes, absolutely. Great. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Well, I just want to say thank you for inviting me to participate in your lecture series or your interview series. I really appreciate you and all the work that you're doing for dance within this world. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure, really. It's my pleasure. I'm also looking forward to your workshop. I'm going to tell all my friends, and I'm going to tell all my friends to tell all their friends in the dance.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. So we'll be in touch. Visit davina.us or beyonddancebusinessacademy.com. For more free resources and fascinating interviews, come to puelalunaris.com, your online space for all things Zambra and barefoot feminine flamenco. Well, thank you, and let's dance.
Yes.
Special thanks to the members of the Lunaris Online Academy, whose support make possible the production of our free resources.
PuelaLunaris.com